Good evening, Wizards Nation. I hope everybody is at home and not outside. It's freaking cold, man. Anyways, got some unfortunate news. Cam Whitmore, about 2 hours ago, was stated that he is out for the season. Very unfortunate news. First things first, wishing him a speedy recovery. When this first came out in December, I was just like in the camp of let him take his time, nothing to rush. This is a very serious injury or diagnosis. You don't mess around with this. Obviously Cam Whitmore, the human being, the person, supersedes anything over the basketball player. So, but they didn't give us any timeline. Because, with an injury of that sort, who knows? Now they came out today, I'm going to pull it up right now, that he has been labeled out for the season. Wizards PR said, Kent Whitmore has started the recovery process for a diagnosed venous condition and will miss the remainder of the 2025-2026 season. The team will provide additional updates as appropriate. And yeah. So I'm going to continue reading on some stats. I mean, not stats. There's no stats to this. But I'm going to continue on reading on because there's more updates. And one recently came out about, I believe, 45 minutes ago. But let me know how y'all feel about this, man. I'm bummed out for Cam. I'm not disappointed. I don't feel like you can be disappointed. This is something that just was out of Cam's hands. It's just very unfortunate for a guy who, was traded here for 2 second-round picks and is back home. He thought this was like a new opportunity, a new place where he can continue to grow as a player, as a person. I mean, this season he only played 21 games with us. As a player, was inconsistent. He did show flashes of that enormous potential that he has. But, at the end of the day, you just can't. I feel like you just can't be with this. This is something that's just out of his hands, and not even that. Something that's very serious. So just gotta wish him a speedy recovery, man. Kevin Robinson says, "What's good, Playboy? Watch your content on a regular content. I really enjoy it. Thankful you just wanted to give a shout out to you, Stamp. Hey, man, I really appreciate it, man. I truly appreciate it. Truly, truly, truly appreciate it. I gotta continue grinding and continue getting better." But let's finish up with this Cam Whitmore stuff, man, because there's more stuff coming out. Wizards say Cam Whitmore has started the recovery process for a diagnosed, there goes that word again, venous condition and will miss the remainder of the 2025-26 season. I already read this. The hell? I'm tripping. I only had 6 hours of sleep because the freaking Wizards on a West Coast road game trip right now, and dude, today was pretty bad. I'm not gonna. I feel like a lot of us today at work were just all cranky. You know what I mean? We're all low on sleep and shit. And then tomorrow we play the Kings at 10 p.m. Granted, most of us won't be working on Saturday, but Anyways, I'll get to that later. We already said right here the team has already started his recovery process for the blood clot in his shoulder. His stats for us. He ended up the season averaging 9.2 points on 17 minutes of play. Shooting splits of 45, 28, and 74. Granted, the 28% from the three. Hold on, let me turn this on real quick. 28% from the three. I mean, it's a small sample size. Like, he only played 21 games with us. So, I mean, career shooter of like 35, 36% from the three. So, that would have changed had he continued playing. And, well, I'll get to his season in a bit. But, my bad. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see if people are saying stuff in the chat. Cam, huh? Rough break for him. Yeah, rough break. It sucks for him, man. I'm going to get to Cam and his possible future with us later. But let's finish reading the stats because this also came out. Like I said, 9.2 points, 17 minutes of play, 45, 28, and 74 shooting splits. 2.8 rebounds, 0.7 assists. Christopher says, what do you predict of Cam when you get a new coach? I'm going to get to that in a bit, dude. Let me just finish reading this, and then we'll get to there later. So the Wizards, this was actually the one that came out about, I believe, like maybe 45 minutes ago. The Wizards, we have applied for a disabled player exception, according to a league source. Shortly ago, it was determined that Cam Whitmore will miss the remainder of the season. So there's that. There'll probably be an update on this maybe by the end of this week. The disabled player exception. Greg Finberg dropped this article today as well regarding the unfortunate news that came out, basically stating the same thing. And yeah. Let's get to Cam this year, because this year, like I said, man played 21 games. Let's see here. Night Honor says, I just joined. What the hell happened to Cam? He had a blood clot injury, man. He had a blood clot injury in December, and they didn't give us a timeline because with those type of injuries, they're very serious. You want to make sure this guy's 110% when he comes back. But according to other people's timelines who had blood clot related injuries, the timeline of 2 to 3 months was tossed out. And so from 2 to 3 months from December 15th would have been mid-February. So I thought maybe, but it was not set in stone. It was never set in stone. So Night Honor says, yo, what's up with all these blood clots? Yeah, man. Wemby had this. Like, I don't know, man. That's a serious question. Like, these are serious injuries. Like, what the hell? It's like, maybe like, I don't know. It's like the body being overworked or something like that. I mean, I'm not a doctor. If anybody's a doctor, please chime in. I think Lockdown Law's a doctor. He's locked on biology. I don't know. Praying for Cam. Yeah, me too. It gives opportunities. Yes. So let's go overall to the ramifications of this. Now that we know that Cam's not playing, it gives more times. Well, you talked about Bilal. Well, Bilal got injured, so we don't know. Like, what the hell? I think it was ironic. Not ironic. I think it was just like, to me, it was just like, it's our luck that we traded for Cam to pretty much not challenge Bilal, but like, give us obviously more depth at the wing. But a lot of us were thinking, hey, man, Cam might go after Bilal's spot starting 3. We don't know before the season started. Now, these two dudes are out. I'm just like, damn it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's our freaking luck right there. Yes. Now with Cam out for the remainder of the season, it will look like it should be the Will Riley show for the remainder of the season, especially if Chris Middleton gets bought out or if he's not here anymore. It should be the Will Riley show. I definitely want to see Jameer Watkins as well. Champagne has already solidified himself moving forward with us. So, the Young Bucks get a chance to step up, get a chance to show us what they're made of, which, obviously in this type of season, a tanking season, it's very imperative, in my opinion. I feel like in all our opinions. Ken Lewis says, timing works out for a full-time trade experiment. All right, so here's my take. Let me go back to Christopher. This is my take. I'm going to give y'all my take, and then y'all give me your take. How about that? Because this is how we do things here. What do you predict becomes of Cam if we get a new coach? So let's go backtrack a little bit. With Cam Whitmore, remember, he started off the season pretty solid, for like the first 3-4 games, and then had a bit of a rough stretch in the beginning of November. Look at this. 8-2-2-0, inconsistent minute, only played 8 minutes, 5 minutes. He was in and out of the rotation. Then he had a really solid stretch here for 6 games. 19, 20, 11, consistent minutes. He was becoming a freaking demon in transition. And then, towards the latter half, he started being, phased out of the lineup. And that's when, pretty much Champagne took over and he got phased out. Remember, he was benched prior to this injury. he was out of the favor with Coach Keefe. Coach Keefe had enough. You know, I'm not going to talk about his play here, but let's just go in a timeline. And then remember also, he was out of the lineup. He got benched. And then this injury came in. But before this injury came in, there was reports saying, because Coach Keefe had to answer questions in the media, reports came out that we, the Wizards, were concerned about Cam Whitmore's practice habits or habits in general. I made a stream about that. And, you know, it kind of coincided with the overall, I guess, benching timing. You know what I mean? People were a bit concerned within the Wizards organization regarding his overall practice habits. And then this, boom. It was just a series of unfortunate events for Cam Whitmore. You know? So now, going back to Christopher's question, this is just my prediction and what I would do. We traded 2 second-round picks for this dude. And for those who are already out on the Cam Whitmore ship, even they will admit to tell you, yeah, you know, we know about his flaws, man, you know, there's tunnel vision, you know, inconsistent effort motor. But the potential is there. A true physical specimen. And what I would do is I would bring him back next season. I wouldn't trade him. But granted, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, teams look to buy low or if he's added on in a trade, not as a filler, but like, you know what I mean? Like how Sadiq Bey was. Remember Sadiq Bey in a Jordan Poole trade? We added him on as somewhat of a filler. And now Sadiq Bey is balling in New Orleans. Shout out to Sadiq Bey. But I myself would bring him back. But like I'm saying, I wouldn't be surprised if they trade him. Now, there were some people who were just like, who were a bit dissatisfied with Cam Whitmore towards the end before, like, you know, early December, late November. And then they were just like, dude, let's just trade him. Let's see if we can recoup our assets. Remember, we gave up 2 second-round picks for him. I was just like, see, next year's Cam Whitmore's pretty much contract year, 4th year in the league. Contract year. We know about dudes who ball out in their contract year. In my head, I'm just like, okay, if we keep him, this man should be super locked in for next season, mentally, and very motivated because he wants to make sure he gets the bag. So he'll have all the incentive to ball out. I know that some people are very hesitant about paying players who are balling in their contract year only. I'm in that camp as well. But if you want to regain his value, for those people who want to trade Cam, my take is ideally bring him back, bring him for competition. Competition breeds greatness. We know this. You don't want to hand somebody minutes. Will Dawkins said, hey, man, nobody's going to be handed minutes this year. You're going to earn it. And if he does earn the spot, and if he's balling out, his trade value will be much more than it is now come February of next year in the trade deadline. You know, I was talking to a dude earlier in the chat. This was like, well, actually a month ago, but I wouldn't forget this conversation. And he was just like, let's trade him right now. And I was just like, I don't know. Contract year, and if he's balling out before the contract, you know, maybe he can not rehabilitate it, but, you know, I don't know. But that's just trade talk. But me, I would bring him back. I feel like also just 21 games played, that's not enough to make an overall assumption or an overall assessment on a young player like him. Man's only 21 years old, man. He's 21 years old. He's a young buck. Same age as Bilal Coulibaly. You know? And we've seen the flashes with him. We've seen it this year. Not with the Rockets, but with us. That's my take, though. I could be wrong, but, you know, got to be impartial with this. And as much as I love Cam, I mean, and I want him to stick around here, I don't know. But I do see that with Will Dawkins, I could see him playing like, I don't know. With Will Dawkins, I get a sense that he's loyal to his dudes. Granted, Will Dawkins didn't draft Cam Whitmore. You can tell he coveted him in the draft. That's why he traded for him. But I can definitely see, and I would be in the camp to keep him. And like, who's to say, like, he comes back next year. I'm assuming battling out with, maybe Jameer, if Jameer's getting playing time. I don't know. Will Riley. Let the best man play. I'm all about competition. As much as I love Will Riley, I would feel a little bit honestly, if just giving him these minutes with no competition. And I'm very high on Will Riley. Nomadic Brian says even if they draft the top forward, that's also true. Yeah, like if the Bonsa is there, the thing that like this is what in my opinion, again, this is my take again. I wrote it down here in my notes so I don't forget about this. The thing that goes against Cam Whitmore though is that Champagnie emerged in his absence. Not only did Champagnie emerge, he solidified himself as a moving piece for us moving forward, as a key integral piece. People forget, like, Champagnie was in and out of the lineup in November. We were all pissed off about it. We were just like, hey, man, this guy clearly can play. What the hell? Play him. We were all mad at Coach Keefe about it. And since Cam's been, down, and also since Cam in general was playing with Champagnie alongside him, Champagnie truly solidified himself as one of our key players moving forward. So that's one thing. Who's to say Will Riley doesn't emerge how we expect him? Like, we all expect Will Riley to emerge these next couple of months, or remainder months of the season. You know what I mean? It's another spot right there. Backup 2 and 3, pretty much, depending on how they play Will Riley. And like Nomadic Brian said, they could draft a wing. Like, they could draft the Bonsa or even Caleb Wilson. That would most likely move Key to the 3 and move Bilal to the backup 3. I don't know, however the hell they want to do it. But, you know what I mean? Then things start getting fishy. And then on top of that, we still want to see dudes like Jameer Watkins play. Because we all love Jameer. We all see the vision with Jameer moving forward. You know what I mean? So then we're just like, all right, so not everybody can play. So somebody could get phased out. But, even with all that, I still can't count out Cam. I just can't. I can't, dude. I can't. I mean, it's not looking good, but like I'm not one of those dudes, by the way, who are like the AJ Johnson supporters who are just like, oh, this guy's a freaking all-star. No, I think Cam's future role, not with us, but maybe with another team, could be that of the, the sixth man off the bench, scoring hub. I feel like, and also, even if Cam doesn't succeed with us, like, I can definitely see Cam succeeding with somebody else. It's definitely, certainly possible with him. He's only 21, dude. And he's also one of the youngest, like, not even young, like, just tantalizing potential with him. It's just the mental with him. That's it. He needs to, I don't know. That's my take, though. But it's very unfortunate. But not disappointed. You can't be disappointed at this. Like, it's just like just something that's just, that's why I wish him nothing but the best of, not the best of luck. Obviously, yeah, best of luck in his recovery, but wishing him a speedy recovery. Not even speedy. Wishing him just a well recovery. I agree with this decision. If that's what it takes, I mean, like, does that spell cause of concern? The fact that it will be December and they're ruling him out for a 4-month timeline at least. December to April, mid-April, that's 4 months. Mid-December it was. That's 4 months. Bit longer than the other blood clot related injuries. It's a bit longer. Did something else happen? Hopefully, I pray nothing else happened. Like, was there any complications or anything like that? Did something happen for them to say, like, hey, man, no, out for the rest of the season? I don't know. I don't think this was like a tank move anyways. Somebody said in the chat this might be the tank move. I don't think so, dude. Because he wasn't he was inconsistent to begin with. If anything, I feel like Will Dawkins wanted to take a better glimpse of Cam Whitmore in the second half of the season. I think. But that's just me. I don't want to put words in for Ken Whitmore, but for Will Dawkins. Anyways, I'm about to end the stream, y'all. I was going to make a video about freaking Coach Keefe, but this news came up, and I was just like, you know what? I think I'll do the video tomorrow. Video topic's pretty much about Coach Keefe and how we currently view him as a potential option moving forward for next year. I'll let you know how I feel about it in the video. I think I'm going to drop the video tomorrow. But yeah, man. Ken Lewis says, you don't think Cam would benefit from Trey? I think any player would benefit from Trey. He would. It's just more of just like, okay, Cam is back. Let's see here. Hicks says, first off, prayers up for Cam. Second, I can't forget the fact that Houston's had great expectations for him, but we're happy to get rid of him. I think we are experiencing what they saw, says Hick JE8. That is true. Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I'd say half of them, because there were a lot of Houston Rockets fans commenting on my videos about Cam, and they're just like, hey, man, hope you got treated well. Hope y'all, y'all got something if he, locks in mentally. But there, I did see some of those Houston fans out there, that were just very, like, like, get rid of him. Young Mill says, let him get fully healthy. Yeah. Yeah. But it has me thinking, though, did something happen? Like, we saw the other blood clot related injuries, and their timelines were 2 to 3 months. Cam got injured this was posted within Cam in mid-December, and they're already rolling him out for the rest of the season, which is 4 months until April. I'm a bit worried about that. Hopefully nothing happened. Like, there's no complications with that. Because it seems like this will be one of the longest, I guess, recovery process for a person with a blood clot injury or blood clot related injury. So they did say here, the team will provide additional updates as appropriate. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, I keep thinking about that. It's just like, damn, what happened for them to already roll him out for the rest of the season? Or was it already, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but like, I'm just speculating out loud. Yeah. Damn, it really sucks for Cam, man. Prayers up, man. Prayers up for Cam. Anyways, that's pretty much it, y'all. I think I'm going to call it quits soon. We play the Kings tomorrow at 10 p.m. and best believe I'm going to go live again. I was surprised to see some dudes on the chat at 1 a.m. yesterday. I know we were all cranky this morning at work. God knows I was. I got to apologize to some people in the office tomorrow. Dude, I had like freaking 5.5 hours to 6 hours of sleep last night. And then on top of that, I wake up and I walk into my car and it's like freaking 20 degrees outside. I was like, what the? It was like the worst start to a day. You know what I mean? I'm driving back home. Freaking hell. Trying to get toasty and shit. I had to eat soup for dinner. And I'm not a soup guy, but I was like, you know what? This'll do. I almost said, fuck it. Let me have hot water for dinner. Can I get some hot water, please? I'm going to eat some hot water. Pneumatic Brian says, think our losing streak ends to 5. Kings played well last game. Oh, extends to 5, sorry. Yeah, Kings have been on a roll, dude. Kings have been on a roll. Let's do the let's do the overall tankathon thing before I end the stream, because y'all know me. I am addicted to the tank. Well, to the tanking odds. All right, dude. Here we go. Ken Lewis says, I love your podcast. I'm going to keep pushing for more Trey shots. Mark it down. Next SGA. Next SGA. I'll take it. I think they're different type of players, but I'll take it, dude. If Ken says it, then damn, it's going to be true. So, yeah, we're currently third. We've lost 4 games in a row. The Kings are on a 3-game winning streak. So, they could very much belt to ass tomorrow. I don't want to jinx it, though. I don't want to jinx it. I have a history of jinxing here in the chat or on the stream. And then not only that, then we play the Nuggets on Saturday at 9 p.m. This is all Eastern time, by the way. I keep forgetting that some dudes, are in the West. Some dudes, you know what I mean? So one dude's in Thailand in this chat. He said it like recently. I was like, holy hell. Shout out to Thailand. But Eastern time, so 10 p.m. tomorrow, 9 p.m. Saturday, and after that, we're back home for the Clippers and Nuggets again next week. So it is what it is. We're all going to be, well, we can sleep in tomorrow, I guess. Tomorrow, Saturday. Tomorrow night on Saturday because, some of us will work. And then, yeah. Anyways, last comment of the day goes to Nomadic Brian. Nuggets we want. Yeah, Nuggets been... Dude, with Peyton Watson, I keep studying up on him, and I'm just like... Fuck. I'm getting to the point where it's just like, hey, man, cut out the blank check. And he's another wing. But, man, this kid is awesome. He's wrecking right now. But then again, we got Coulibaly. I'm not out on the Coulibaly hype train, though. I'm not out. I think there is a reason to... I mean, for those who who are super Coulibaly fans and don't want to... or who are trying to avoid the noise... my opinion with Coulibaly is you got to be impartial, not just in Coulibaly, but in general. Like, with your team, you got to be impartial. You have to be impartial. You can't let your fandom block you from giving constructive judgment or criticism, even if it is your favorite player. And I like Coulibaly, but damn it, it's not. It's annoying. It's annoying. 5th different injury. I'm just like, dude, come on, man. I'm over here trying to defend you, but then again, it's injuries. He can't. He has nothing. I don't know. Hopefully he comes back though, but odds are I don't know. They haven't said any update regarding him playing tomorrow, but we'll see. Anyways, I'm gonna call it quits, y'all. Take care, everybody. Stay warm. Eat soup. Oh, drink soup. Young Mill says Bilal's injury prone. Yeah, he is. And that's coming from a Bilal fan right here. You can't run away from reality. It's the truth. As much as I love Bilal, he is injury prone. And there's nothing we can do about it. Like, I can't, Now, there's people who really, truly don't like Bilal whatsoever. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. Well, I can't defend this Frenchman. It's hard. Sometimes in a debate, you just got to throw your hands up and be like, fuck it. You win. Fuck it. I'll prove you wrong in the future, but right now you got the dub. Anyways, stay warm, everybody. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to drop that video on Coach Keefe tomorrow, I think, because of this stream. But prayers up to Cam. Wishing him a speedy recovery. Young Mill says, lowball him on a contract extension. I've been saying that for months too, man. I want to lowball him, but I was talking to a dude earlier on the chat, and I was just like, as much as I want to lowball him, from an executive mindset, you would think, even though Dawkins drafted Bilal, and that's just like his first pick, there's definitely an attachment there. You would think that they would want to see at least they would want to at least see that Bilal is capable of playing 65 plus games in a season. Even if you do get him in a team-friendly deal, he does, meet our expectations for his upside. If he's not playing, then what's the point? And it sucks saying that, but, But I will admit, I am in the camp that he is going to dispel these injury-prone tags. He's gonna go over it. I'm in that camp, though. I'm in that camp. I'm saying that out loud. I think something's going to happen this offseason. I think he's going to change his diet, his routine. He's going to play 65-plus games next season. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. Trust me, he's going to do it. All right, y'all. Take care, everybody. Peace. If you enjoyed the stream, please like and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. Praise up to Cam. Peace, y'all.